Would you like running water with a small faucet inside your Alu-Cab Canopy Camper? Stick around, I'll show you how.
I was born in the South with a twang in my mouth with a honeysuckle windy.
Hey, I'm Sean, welcome back to the channel. Today I am installing my setup for a small faucet inside the back of our 2019 Toyota Tacoma with the Alu-Cab Canopy Camper. I've wanted running water in this vehicle for some time, and my first try at it didn't really work out. There was too much pressure on the line for the type of faucet I wanted to use. Actually, I'm using just a very simple 12-volt faucet. You've probably seen these around the design there. At first it wouldn't work out, it had too much pressure behind it. The faucet would constantly leak. I've since come up with a new design using this 37-liter, which is about 8-gallon water jug, so a couple sizes of hose, a fitting, and using the cap that comes with it, and we get running water. So here's our faucet we're using, a simple 12-volt faucet. I'm sure you've seen these all over the design. They are USB rechargeable. They're pretty basic. They're designed, actually, I believe, to go down in like a water jug like you might see at your workplace. It's flipped upside down. I believe this whole diameter fits right down on top of there. They do supply about a 1/4-inch line that's about, I don't know, 12, 18 inches long. It's pure junk. Don't even untie the bread ties that are holding it together. You might as well trash it. Doesn't do any good. It charges pretty good. It claims to hold a charge for several hours. I want to say days, weeks, maybe months. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it seems to be okay. The gray color is nice, kind of matches the inside of the Canopy Camper that's primarily black, and does the job. So this is what we hook up our 1/4-inch line to, and it starts with this 31-gallon water tank, which is about 8 gallons or so, some rubber hose, a washer, a fitting. So I'm going to show you how we put it together. So it's going to come, of course, packaged up, and it's got a large fill cap on one end for putting water in, which is fine. That'll work out great. And then where the magic's going to happen is over here on the other side. It's got a small cap that we're not going to use this cap though. It has another cap that it comes with that you can screw on here and turn it on its side or end, and it turns it into a faucet on this end. But what we're going to do is we're going to disassemble this and just use this cap portion, and I'll show you why in just a second. Okay, you're going to need about a 2-foot length of the silicone hose that is 5/8 outside, 1/2 inch inside. And then you're going to need the 3/8 outside, 1/4 inch inside pickup line in vinyl, or you can, if you have any other, would probably work. I left this a little bit long. This is probably close to about 3.5 foot because I'm not exactly sure the length that I'll need once I go to get it mounted in the truck. And then of course you're also going to need this little barb here. Pick this up on the Zon. This is a 1/4 inch by 1/2 inch, and this will fit inside the pipe, and it's going to be pretty tight to get it on there. So you're really going to have to work at it to make those come together. They're not really going to go all the way. It'll start out fairly easy, but then you'll get pretty stiff and pretty hard to push on there. But you need to do your best to get it on there the best that you can. The further on there, the better. Less likely to have a leak. If you can get it all the way up to the collar, there's a slight collar right in here. If you can get it all the way, that's great. If not, in my experience so far, it works. Now, this is the 1/4 inch line, so I'm just going to go the 1/4 inch line on the other end of the plastic barb, of course. And again, it's even tighter than the other because that hose is a little stiffer. I went simply with the vinyl because I had it on hand. It's simple as that. You just got to keep working it. A little bit of grunting, huffing will get it on there because you want it up that barb as far as you can possibly get it. Not sure if you can really see it. I hope I'm not blocking it too much, but it's hard to push and keep it in line with everything that you're doing with this joker. So it's on there pretty good. It's unlikely this is going to come off. I can tell you from experience, I pulled this back off just in my initial testing, and I will tell you I had to cut a little slice in the line to open it up to get it back off the barb. So it's pretty strong. I don't know that a hose clamp is necessarily required because there's not really a lot of pressure on it. The only time there's really pressure on it is when the faucet's on and it pulls, and after that initial time the line should pretty much stay primed with water. So let's look at the cap and what we have to do to get the hose through the cap. Use the cap that was an extra cap that you can connect to the additional small outlet to create basically a gravity fed water feed from out of the jug. It simply has a plastic nut and washer, rubber washer on the inside. So we just take those apart, get that out of there, and then we're going to end up using this part of the cap here. So we're just going to discard these pieces for now. So as you can see, it already has a hole in it. It took a little digging, but I figured out, here's a rubber grommet. This rubber grommet will fit in that hole, and then the inside diameter is 5/8, which will accept our pickup line that's going to be down inside the water in the jug. So you basically just kind of work that in there around the groove of the grommet. Take a little finagling and pushing, and there you go. Take the 1/4" line here, and we're going to feed it through the bottom in the reverse direction to get the entire hose fed through this grommet so that we have as close to a watertight seal as we can get. This is the easiest way I found to do this, is with the hose connected with the barb, and then you run it through the backside. So we'll pull that through like that. So there you see, there's the barb of the 1/4" side, and the 1/2" side is here. It doesn't want to slide through there very easily, but with a little bit of working and gorilla face making and grunting, you can get it in there. It just takes a little bit to do it. But you want to try to keep that grommet in the hole, of course, because that's what's going to help you prevent it from leaking when you're going down the trail. I don't know that it's going to be super tight. Again, this is in theory, and bench testing this, it has worked out great. You know, down the trail it will be a whole other idea, but for now we're going with it. So let's work on getting this through the grommet. It is in the groove of the grommet, so you see it sticking through just a little bit. That'll help secure it a bit, and then if you ever had to take it apart, this would be the easier part to get the 1/4" line off. So let's get it into the jug and see what our next step is. Next, let's put the hose into the water jug. I found, after experimenting a couple times, the easiest way to do it is without the faucet attached, because the hose is so tight within this grommet that it's not going to spin. So you're going to have to spin the entire apparatus as you screw it into the tank. Otherwise, you run the risk of kinking the hose here. So we feed it into the jug, goes right in with no problem until you get here, and then you have to finagle it. Screw it on, and there you have it. You want to try to create a loop to come off of the back, depending on your orientation. My jug will be in the rig in this position, so this will be against the bed front, and this is, of course, leading out front. And as I said earlier, it will be mounted inside one of the benches that I built inside our canopy camper. So then at this point, you would install this into the truck, run this hose to your faucet, hook it up, boom, you have water. So let me show you how we're going to put it in the truck. Okay, so we're here in the truck. I've got the cabinet. There's normally a cabinet in this front area of the truck, so I decided that the tank is going to fit right back there, and it does so quite easily. It's a perfect fit. I put a couple of tie downs in the floor. Over on the left side I have my longest bench, and I simply just cut the end piece off and created a little mounting position for it for the faucet. The faucet simply just slips onto a piece of PVC and just kind of sits there, it rides there. It enables you to pivot it around a little bit. You can take it off if you need to, and of course the hose would still be attached. I also installed a USB plug so that I have power right at the faucet to plug it in to recharge it when necessary. Velcro tabs on the back here that enable me to put the panel in here. Down it goes. Pull the line through, hook it up, bam. I've got water. What this piece of PVC is, just a slip fitting. It's a 2-inch slip fitting with threads on one end every you screw it in. I found that using the slip on one side and the threads on the top side, it gives the faucet base just the smallest amount of grip, and it kind of holds it there from shaking around whenever you're moving around on the road. So we're going to get the water jug installed, and then we're going to route the hose in the back side back here. Around the bench in the back, there we go. Come up through the hole there. Leave a little slack down there so you've got some wiggle room when you get the hose connected to the faucet approximately. It's going to be in this position over here. And that way if you need to pull the faucet up, if the faucet was in there, you've got a little slack to work that faucet out of there. So I'm going to cut this off, and then we're going to sit the panel in and get it all connected up. Simply connect the hose to the bottom of the faucet. Just slips right on there. Make sure it's good and snug. Feed it back through. And I'm using a collapsible bowl just as a receptacle for the water. So we'll sit that there. Voila, we have water. Also, by leaving a little bit of slack in your pickup line coming to the bottom of your faucet, it enables you to remove the faucet or pick it up slightly to fill larger receptacles such as your jet boil. I'm going to call it a wrap here on the, what should I call this thing? Should I call it the auxiliary water with faucet? Yeah, let's call it that. The auxiliary water tank with faucet inside the Alu-Cab Canopy Camper. I think it turned out pretty well. Of course, if you have any questions about materials used or the way that I put it together, feel free to hit the comments down below and knock them in there, and I'll answer them just as quick as I can. Please like and subscribe to our channel. By doing that, it helps this channel grow, and we're really trying to grow this thing, trying to be more consistent with videos, and we appreciate everybody taking the time to stop by and take a look at us. So until next time, keep exploring.